God. I hate technology and technology hates me. Let me just set this for a second, guys. My computer just trolled me and crashed and burned just as I started the stream. Like, blue screen of death. Why not? Okay. Never rose your boat. Let me see. Write something, we're live, because I cannot know right now. I think we are, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I see a text. Nordic. Hey. Okay. We are live. Let me know if the link works. And the text is a bit small here. Maybe I should change that. Just give me a second here. Oh no, the text is okay. The text is fine. Good. So what I'm gonna try to do, I should tell Instagram that we're live, but I told everyone. Come on. Where is the link? It's like, can't you see? Like, it's brightening up. It's brightening up all the time, so you guys can see it. I will be surprised if people do not see it now. Now, I wanted to open a project file here. Very quick. Let me open a track of mine so that we can use that in case I need to reference something. How are you guys doing, by the way? Hope you're good. So I'm gonna open. What's the title of the song? Okay. All right. Link works now. Stream works great. That's good. You deserve 1 million subs. Yeah. Maybe in another life. Funny enough, my secondary channel that I started last year is now overgrowing my tutorial channel by a long shot. And the tutorial channel has been alive for 5 years. The second channel I started has been alive since February last year, and it's now almost same size. People are way more engaged. So I don't think the tutorial channel is gonna, get 1 million subs anytime soon. People don't supposedly they don't need that on YouTube as much as they need other types of content. But I will keep on making tutorials. So last ones have been super fun to make. And when I watch them myself, I'm like, wow, these are, like the jazz tutorial or the one with when I talk about coffin dance, astronomia, remade in Adventures style. That was cool. That was fine. It was fun. Anyway, I'm opening a project file here. I'll show you guys. So I'm opening this project file so I can show you, if I need to show you examples of stuff, we can refer back to this track, which is going to be from Pain She Rises. And interesting, when I go to this chat, I cannot see what happened to the chat. It's not visible anymore. Let me see. Oh, okay, I can still see it. It just resets every time I change the window. Interesting. So, yeah, no, I didn't see it like in the because it's on the screen now. This is the first time I tried to stream in this manner. I'm still new with Twitch. But yeah, project file is loading. As soon as that is done, we will start breaking down your tracks. Today I'm gonna try to be a bit more fast because I want to give some, opportunity for everyone to have their music listened to. So instead of like spending, 10 minutes per track, I'm gonna try to go real quick and skip around and tell you, okay, this is good, this is not good for this reason and whatever. Only 29 viewers. Interesting. There's like hundreds of people who ask me for feedback on a weekly basis. And it's when I do live stream feedbacks, they never see it. And like, it's, it was there. So, whatever. Okay. Do you still release track on Epic Music World, for instance? Not really, because, if I happen to write original tracks, then yes. But lately I've been writing covers for the most part and rearrangements because I like that. And they do not post those because they can run into legal problems as their videos are monetized. And you need a license to monetize your covers and stuff. So it's a bit complex, right? Okay, the project file is downloading in a sec. The thing like cults is, it's hard for me to announce anything because like I do this on a whim. Like, I do this completely randomly. I don't plan this. Like, I do this when, I don't know, I have a work day that is, I don't know, slow and I want to still do something useful, or I have a, you know, it can be for many different reasons. And sadly, it's unpredictable. That's pretty much unpredictable. But you guys, if you follow me, like, this is also why I make it this way. Like, this is made in such a way that only my most loyal followers will see that. You know, because if you follow me, like, whatever, yeah, Alex, whatever, you're probably not going to get the notification from the algorithms of YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that. But if you're one of the people who follows me very, you know, a lot, then these systems are going to inform you, and you deserve it. You deserve to be the first. So let me do one thing here where I need to put the folder here among my watch list. Sorry, I'm doing this right now. I did that before, and now my computer crashed. So now I have to redo it again. It's very interesting. So Dropbox, track reviews. We have quite a few tracks already. So I can do this. I'm going to do a thing. So track reviews. I'm going to do a thing. Let's see if we can do this. Here on, I put this on FL Studio's browser. I need to disable the mastering effects. And I want span. There we have it. Beautiful. And what I want to do is to track reviews. It's here. Okay, so I'm going to sort this by date. Sort by date. So we should see the tracks based on like the order in which you guys sent them to me. Obviously, the Patreon tracks have, you know, as I told you in the post, the Patreon tracks have priority. But we're gonna go over this track. So let's go. This is the Patreon track. I'm gonna need to boost it because the volume is not high. Let me know, guys, if you can hear the music over the sound of my voice. That's interesting. I love how articulate it is. Oh, that's cool. Reminds me of, what's the name? Monody from the Fat Rat? Probably. I will probably put this on YouTube, I don't know. We will see. I may put some highlights of this on YouTube. Yeah, sounds like the Fat Rat. And I love these chords. Super colorful. Wow, where is it gonna lead us? It's great. I love it. Maybe a bit repetitive after a while. Music a bit louder than my voice. Okay, let me do this. Now it should be good. So Carls, one thing I recommend you is to don't show your incomplete music to people. That's tricky, right? Like, you want to do that, obviously. You're like, hey, I've worked on this and I want you guys to listen to it. But a good thing to do is to not do that. Because then it compels you to actually finish the song. You're like, oh, before I even show this to anyone, I'm going to force myself to finish it. That's very good. Let me move this, by the way. Let me move this for a second. That's very good of a feeling because then you're forced to complete the song. That's what I recommend personally. But this is pretty cool. I love the chords here. It's a very interesting, you know, it's a very interesting, wait, span is over here, okay. Do you guys want to see my face or do you want to see FL Studio? I don't know. It's a very interesting track and very interesting chord progression. I love that. But yeah, I would work on putting the percussion next and don't send tracks to people before, you know, before you complete them. Luis Cupido. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Let me increase it. So the piano being so quiet that you almost cannot hear it, and the choir being so loud doesn't match very well. Also, I don't like the fact that there's no low end here. You could have added some atmospheric sounds in low end, something that feels the space a bit. Luis Capaldi, Italian brother. Something that feels a bit of the low end and stuff, because it's very sharp right here. The chords are beautiful. The harmonies are amazing. It's just the way the sound feels and looks. It's kind of wrong. Okay, here it's kind of balanced. Now you have the low end, you have the choir, you have the piano. You could have a bit more high end. You don't need that, but if you had like some atmospheric sound on the high end, it would be amazing. I suppose you're using Metropolis Arc1 for the choir, by the way, and the problem with Arc1 is that it sounds loud as heck, no matter what you do, so it's troublesome, but that's probably why it clashed with the piano. Probably, I don't know. Let's move on to Alexander Makowski. So this sounds compressed as hell. I wouldn't compress it as much. It's just over compressed like crazy. That's not a good thing. And also, I like the beat though. Like the I just don't like that it's like ta pa 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 on every instrument. Percussions do that, strings do that. You know, what if you did or something like that? You know, so subdivisions inside your rhythm. I would do that. It's compressed to death, man. That's not the sound. No, don't do that. Don't compress a track like that. It just ruins the mix completely, and all the beauty that was in it is gonna be destroyed. It's like painting a picture using saturation to... Look, I'm gonna show you. This is what happens when you compress something. Let's take a random picture from my computer. Oh, here, I have a picture of me. Photoshop. I hope it's not gonna crash my computer, but I wanna show you guys what it means to have too much compression in a song. If it was a picture, okay? Just give me a sec, the Photoshop is loading. In the meantime, let's listen to this maybe. Again, I like the harmonies. Not a fan of the execution. Sounds very quantized. Sounds like everything is very linear. You don't want that. You know, when you're writing for strings, you probably want something like... Do I have good examples here? I don't even know. I haven't opened this track in a long time. Oh, yeah, here, probably. Let me show you here in the piano roll of this track where the strings are doing something of that nature. I could have done a better job at this. This kind of sucks. This kind of sucks, to be honest. But you see, for example, if I wanted to make this a bit better, I would have made this even more irregular. You know, they're not like perfectly quantized, and I cannot quantize here. Fuck. But they're not perfectly quantized. Like, you have this like sort of like small variation in the strings, and you want that. And also, this is an ensemble. This is not good. If I wanted to improve this, I would have done this with this line here with a single legato string instrument. This with another single legato string instrument. This is another legato string instrument. So each, you know, like note here change would have a legato transition. And then if I would have changed like the, you know, the way they're written like slightly, then make them a bit more blurred, it would have been more like an ensemble. You know, you need that. Otherwise, it's not believable. And also, the dynamics are always at the same level. You don't want that. It's as if you're singing without ever changing your voice. Anyway, so I'm gonna show you guys what happens. This is a track. This is a beautiful track, obviously. You look at this face. Such a beautiful track. And when you apply too much compression, it's as if you are doing this, okay? You have a beautiful thing, you have a beautiful subject, compression to death. See, this is saturation to crazy levels. This doesn't make sense anymore. This is a good balanced mix, okay? This is when you add too much compression. And then if you want to add, I don't know, if you start adding instruments that don't blend in the frequencies and stuff, you start to like create shit. And it's like, no, what the hell? The picture was so good and you ruined it. That's what happens when you just mess around with compression and stuff like that without knowing exactly what you're doing. And especially if you just exaggerate with it. It's like putting too much salt on a recipe. It's like, no, don't do that. It's gonna, it's not good, you know? I like your rhythms, guys. Okay, he's gonna repeat. I'm not a fan of like the same idea for 50 seconds straight. That's not it. At least here it changes a little bit, although it's still the same main riff. But I like the fact you change the instrument that is playing the main riff. Sounds like it probably needs a bit more reverb, or the instrument, the strings, like the library doesn't sound so believable to me. Probably if you added a bit of like, no, not even Matiti can save it. No, it's just, I don't know about this. This part is very cool, actually. It just sounds like... Sounds like it's being EQ'd in a bad way. It sounds closed, like it should have a bit more sharpness. You can bring your sharpness to your track by using OTT or by simply, using an EQ and opening it up like manually. But, maybe you did a low pass EQ or a high pass EQ on your instruments. Don't do that if you did that. It sounds closed, but it sounds like this part of the composition is very cool. How does it end? Why did you do that? There must have been an export error or something, because it doesn't make sense. I don't know. It's a bit, some instruments sound super close, others like that brass there sounds super sharp. Again, balance, guys. You want balance in your tracks. Everything needs to sound cohesive. Make it sound as if they're part of the same family. Nice drum set. That thing, it's been sent to me by Toman. I made an order from Toman. And I bought a bass guitar and I bought a guitar. And with the guitar, I bought also a guitar stand for guitars. And they sent me a drum set instead. I'm like, okay, whatever. Not complaining, But it's a junior drum set, like for children, so it's very small. Harmony, let's go. Harmony's been being very active in these streams. He's been following my work for years at this point. I think he was one of the first people who supported me on Patreon, by the way. So thanks for that, man. Please tell me there's gonna be some cool changes. I love that rhythmic pad. It's pretty interesting. Sounds very uplifting though. So alien invasion, maybe there are good aliens. Or probably not. I don't know. If I were you, I would try to use other notes rather than just that. What if you did bum 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 or something? What if you did a cool modulation like in the Fallout main theme? Because here's the problem. Oh wait. Oh, you changed the note here. That's cool. So there's one problem with this track. You are only using like 2 or 3 chords. Like those are very few chords. and you're using one riff. Those are the main, like you're saying to yourself, hey, I'm gonna have to write a track for like 3 minutes using only 4 chords and 1 melodic riff. And make it interesting. Good luck with that. You know, it's hard. It's hard. And to hear, it sounds like you already exceeded, like you already gave it your all, and you have no more cards up your sleeve. If you keep on using this chord progression and this melody or melodic riff, you cannot do anything more than what you did here. So the whole rest of the track kind of feels like it could not exist. This part is kind of cool. This part is cool because the harmony changed a little bit. But I would doubt the people will find it interesting to get to this part. I would try, if I were you, to vary it with more chords. Like trailer music needs to be simple, it's true, but don't get to the point where you just use one chord or use one note throughout the track. Not for a hybrid track, at least. Sound design, trailer music, yes, you can do that, but hybrid tracks, I wouldn't say that. If you want a great example, this track, by the way, it reminded me of, again, listen to the Fallout 4 main theme. And I made a video about this, about modulation in music and how you can use that to just facelift the track. There's a track in Final Fantasy VII that modulates or changes key something like 11 times in a minute. And I made a video about it on my secondary music channel, Alex Moukala Music, that talks about music theory. Check out that video. Listen to the Fallout 4 main theme. And also there's a few tracks from deadmau5 from an album called While 1 minus 2, While 1 minor than 2. There's a few tracks there where he uses piano only, and they're based on simple melodic riffs, but he keeps on like playing beautiful chords under melodies that keep on staying the same. That's a good example of what you were trying to do. It sounds as if you just made it super hard for yourself. Okay. I'm using the Bayer Dynamic DT999. Bayer Dynamic, I'm gonna write it. However, I had 770s before, and I prefer those. So I think I'm gonna eventually buy some 770s because they were more balanced. But yeah, guys, this feedback is trying to be super quick, so I might not listen to the whole track. I might be a bit more rash in my feedback than I am usually, because today I want to try something different. Try to reply to as many tracks as possible by giving you like the most direct pointers. And then obviously there's your tracks mostly like they like don't think that I'm saying they don't sound amazing and they're shit. No. I'm just telling you the exact thing that I think is the biggest flaw. But that's with the understanding that, yes, they're nice pieces of music. So don't get this personally and stuff like that. Adam Icor, Star Signals. I think aliens are a big part of this stream.
Do you feel a void in your life? Everyone does. Whether they know it or not.
I've been here for 10 minutes and you have not said a positive thing yet. Okay, Morwick, if you're here to hear me praise you, this is not what this is about. Like, this is about me telling you exactly what I think you would need to improve in your tracks. That is what constructive feedback is about. But obviously, if something blows my mind, I'm gonna say it. It just didn't happen so far.
Everyone
doesn't mean that the tracks are bad though.
Feel it inside you right now.
Positive feedback can be useful.
Heavy emptiness,
but, you know,
middle of your chest. It's a reflection of the one in your existence.
Like, for example, the harmony again, the harmonies are cool. You guys, some of them have very cool harmonies and the rhythms.
Like particles of quantum entanglement. You remember how we talked about quantum entanglement? This is good. You will gag on your need. And until you do, it's a resonation.
Edward, I hope that later in the track you're going to use percussion as a way to lift this track up.
Space.
Because that would be freaking epic.
Your will like organ music in a cathedral. Hear the music now. This is not a metaphor. If your will is strong enough, there will be music now. Remember now that nothing in this track is a metaphor.
Yeah! Man. Oh, give me more percussion. I wish I could hear more of this. Like, ba-da-ba-da-bum, bum, bum, ba-da-ba-da-bum, or something like that, you know, just build a beautiful riff with that. Okay. Man. That's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about when I say use more than one chord. I think you can reach the point where you can get a bit too much chaotic too. You know, like the rhythm here is hard to get into and it changes all the time, but at least this gives you like the freedom to write a track that is long and doesn't bore the listener, you know? But what I would recommend, Edward, for you is that right now I feel there's no elements here that are holding my hand. You know, everything is random, like da ba ba ta ta ba ba ba. Like, what if you in between that added, I don't know, a shaker or sort of like a percussive loop that is steady? So everything like around the track, like the hits, the brass hits and stuff like that, they play whatever rhythm they want to play, but you have that sort of rhythm underneath in a thip, like in a like a small loop that gives me a sense of stability that kind of I can hold my hand around that as the rest of the track evolves. You know, something like that would be amazing. Like for example, the arpeggiator here kind of serves that purpose, although it's a bit. Okay, the strings are plus the arpeggiator, they give me a steady sense of rhythm that I can hold on to as the melody does whatever it wants. The melody at this point can even not make sense. I don't care. Yeah, you gave me the strings and the arpeggiator, and I can hold my hand around that and enjoy the journey that is the track. And in the first half, I felt that kind of miss. Like it didn't happen.
Imagine if the current about.
Yeah, these are the parts where you miss that. So here I would add like a small shaker loop or whatever. But yeah, interesting track, man. Interesting instrumentation. It doesn't want to be fully orchestral, doesn't want to be fully sci-fi, it's like both. Doesn't want to be a trailer track, like it's its own thing, and it's very rich and diverse. That's a good thing. It's just a bit confusing. So add a bit of like hand-holding to us. I'm gonna reply to your questions after this track. We already listened to Luis Cupido. So, yeah. Wait, are we going backwards? What's going on? What's going on? Let me check, because these tracks we already listened to. Wade Smith sent a track. This is not ordering by date anymore. Give me a sec, guys. There's something wrong. So, sort by, oh yeah, it wasn't ordering by date anymore. Oh, this is what is going on? Let me just use Windows, like let me use the Windows thing folder. Okay, anyway, do you guys have questions? Let me know. Let me read the chat because I've been ignoring you. I'm not a music creator, but I still love watching you discuss different tracks and do things like this. Really inspired to watch, honestly. Oh, that's a good thing. The woodwinds go well in such tracks. Yeah, I mean, woodwinds are not used much, but in Western orchestral music now, but they do well in many tracks, I think. They're amazing instruments. Okay, so I'm gonna use Windows folder, like Windows directory, I think. And yeah, so this is our list. Supposedly there's some tracks that I skipped. I'm sorry, guys. They weren't being sorted in the right way. So, Atelier is actually the first one we should have listened to. Thanks for the feedback on Star Signals. And if you're ready, but it's my first 5/8 time signature. I did. That's why I told you like to do the add some elements that hold our hands. That's how those tracks are written. And if you want inspiration, listen to Haken. Crazy good band. Do you use a VST host in your studio? VST host. I don't think so. Like I don't think so. Hey, let's go. I think you guys asked me something before, but I cannot find it. How can the patron send the tracks? Same link. Do you know what a VST host is? I don't think I know even what it is, actually. Like in FL Studio, we have like the... No, I don't know what it is actually. No, I think I do, but probably not. So I'm gonna say I don't. I never use it. This reminds me of Skyrim. And I love the fact that the pizzicatos, like, they're not necessarily following a specific rhythm. Rather, they're kind of random. That kind of makes them feel like something atmospheric, like the sound of, I don't know, chirping birds or whatever, rather than making them sound like a, an instrument that is playing with all the others. But, for example, like they sound like atmospheric elements, but still they are part of the song. They have, like, the fitting harmony. It's beautiful. Beautiful effect. It can go wrong very easily, but you did it well. And this solemn trumpet, muted trumpet, I love it. This is very good. I'm not a fan of this overlap you have here, or this bass that like only takes place here and then there's no other bass frequencies. So I probably work on layering the bass a little bit, not crazy, but just to make it a bit more coherent and consistent, and reduce a bit of the overlaps. But this track is freaking good. It's freaking good at what it wants to do. Man, if you add a celesta here, then it becomes like the Elder Scrolls Skyrim. Same quality. Good. Like it. Are you going to make a video using the new BBC Symphonic Orchestra Discover? I should. I'm these days working very hard on my second YouTube channel, which is becoming my main YouTube channel now because it's becoming much bigger than anything I've ever done on YouTube in the shortest amount of time possible. But when I have some time, I will make a video about that one. And also I want to try the Project Sam library, like the Project Sam freebies. You review tracks in... Oh wait, there was a Patreon track that I wanted to review. Someone asked me if I review tracks only cinematic, orchestra, EDM, or do you take anything else like vintage game scoring with limitation of sounds such as non-cinematic orchestra music? Foppenberger, I don't have experience personally with vintage cinematic, like vintage video game music. So I don't know if I can give you some advice on that. Maybe you can try submitting 8-bit music, but I don't know. I'm much more informed in electronic music, cinematic music and stuff. There's a Patreon track from Tito1. So we're gonna go with that. And we have to listen to Wade as well. We haven't listened to Wade. So we go with, okay, let's go with Tito1 and then Wade. WAVs shouldn't be uploaded because they're gonna destroy my Dropbox folder and then people are not gonna be able to upload other stuff if you upload WAVs. So avoid those, and I delete those to make space for people who are submitting MP3s. I'm not a fan of like how not profound the rhythm is here. You're using basic bum 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 bum, like just 1/8 notes, or I don't know. But they're like, you could do subdivisions. Use subdivisions, and also like ba ba ba. You know, whole notes all the time. No, what if you do ba 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 ba? You know, but change the rhythm a little bit. That would be much more of a boss battle thing. Now you do subdivisions. Although when you do subdivisions with percussion, make sure that you tweak the velocities in such a way that the minor, like the subdivisions don't sound as loud as the main, you know, accents that you want to put. Like right now, there's no accents, and like everything is like at max. Well, if you subdivide that, it's better. I don't know how to explain that in a way that sounds smart, but you know. And yeah, it's kind of weird, like the percussion have a sense of power that the rest of the instruments don't have. And the percussion are very rhythmic, and the rest of the instruments are playing sustains that have long attacks. So it's like the percussion like snappy, and the sustain strings don't really follow the rhythm, and they play a little bit after, and they play in a less rhythmic way because it's sustained and it's weaker, and it's weird. It's like eating a pizza, and the pizza is like warm, but the mozzarella on top is super cold, and you're like, you're like, what am I eating? Am I getting poisoned? In a way, like you want every instrument to be kind of like cooperating. So, for example, on this track here, again, maybe I can show you. I don't know if it's going to destroy my computer. Very likely it will. Pirate part of this track. So what's going on in the percussion? Well, lots of things. Very rhythmic. I cannot have the brass not be rhythmic and the strings not be rhythmic. So the brass is doing... Wait, let me activate the ghost notes. Like it's doing this sustain notes, but then it does this staccato notes, you know? And if I wanted to go even more aggressive, I would have done marcato notes with the brass. You want that. And the strings are not doing sustains, they're doing... You know, like you want something like that. If you want to be rhythmic, then be rhythmic on every instrument. Percussion is not the only rhythmic instrument. The orchestra can be sustained, can be melodic, can be rhythmic, can be everything you want it to be. So use it in that way, because otherwise you're missing out, and that's why it doesn't sound very realistic. That's one thing that, you know. But as beginners, it's very hard to know that. You, as a beginner, you will not use all the articulation, but articulations are useful for that because you change the nature of the orchestra to fit whatever emotion you want to represent. It doesn't mean that sustain elements are bad. It just means that sustain is good for something. Rhythmic stuff, marcatos, staccatos, and stuff are good for other things. And if you're doing staccatos and marcatos, use subdivisions. Battle of the Raging Sea. This is what I'm talking about. So, instead of a ta 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 baga daga daga baga, that's much better. Although I would add more velocities here. A lot. So, like for example, the percussion kicks in and the brass as well. Boom, boom, another ba da da, boom, boom. You know, something like that. That's amazing. I love that. Like those like brass lines that fill the spaces. But that's cool. Like, I love it. Like there's the strings that da ba da da ga da da ga da ba, and then there's like the big perks that are like, these are the accents, you know? And then in between the accents, like ba da ba ba ga da ba, like you have so many things happening. It's not boring. What I would add is, again, like the brass sounds overwhelmingly loud though, compared to everything else. Careful with that. And I would add a bit, you know, like... Like if we remove the brass, I wonder what this arrangement will sound like. It sounds like everything else is quite weak. And it's relying on the brass for the most part. You don't want that. You want an arrangement that when you remove a part, it still sounds cool. Again, to refer back to the track I showed before, so if we remove the brass... It's still okay. If we remove the strings, I mean, it's weird, but it's still fairly okay. If we remove the percussion, the reason for it is that basically every single instrument, oh god, what happened? So it feels the frequency spectrum quite a bit. Maybe the string, like the choir, not so much. The brass. It does, because there's bass drum, there's French horn, there's like trumpets and stuff. The strings, man, you know, there's only a few instruments here that are so tiny in the frequency response, you know, so maybe if I left those all alone, it wouldn't be as crazy. But ideally, you want your orchestra to be, if you're writing epic orchestral music, you want your orchestra to, each section of the orchestra to sound like big in terms of the frequencies you're having, you know, in the instruments. And in this case, I find that the track is, that's the lack of the track. It sounds like you're going overpower on the French horn almost as a way to compensate the fact that the rest of the track is quite empty or not as powerful. You can save yourself from that by using layering and good stuff like that. But yeah, I liked it though. Again, guys, don't take this as like, this track sucks. That's not what I'm saying. I'm focusing on things that I would improve. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can read some questions. He didn't like write in different patterns. Sometimes I write in different patterns, sometimes I don't. It depends. It depends. Would you say that the track sucks if it actually sucks? Like really, really bad. The A44S. I don't, here's the thing about me. Like I don't, let's talk about this. What does it mean that a track sucks? How do you quantify that a track sucks? How can you say, oh, this example of human creativity is bad? Who are you to say that, right? Like, how can you? I can say, oh, I don't understand the melody, and this track makes me feel confused, or this is not easy to understand. It doesn't sound very musical. I can say that, but I cannot say this track sucks. I don't think you can say that. I think you can say, if you're trying to make me feel epic with this genre, with this music writing, it's failing to do that because you're doing mess here in the mix and stuff like that. I can say that, but I don't think you will ever hear me say this track sucks. I don't think I can say that. Like, dude, like the music, I grew up listening to MIDI music from Final Fantasy VII. MIDI music, like there was no such thing as realism, round robins and stuff. And that, dude, that's my shit. And I still listen to it to this day sometimes. In terms of realism, it sucks, yeah, but man, the notes are there. The music is amazing. It's just, I don't think I can ever say something like that. I don't believe that. And also, I don't think it's useful. Like, hey, here's this thing I created, putting my vulnerability and everything and my feelings on paper in the way that I can do it right now. And you go there and say, oh, this sucks. No, like that, man, imagine going to someone and they talk to you and they're like, oh yeah, your nose just sucks. Your face sucks. And you're like, what the fuck? I was born with this face. It's like, whatever, I'm sorry, I'm rambling, but I hate that. Like, I hate that sort of like elitism or discussion. I think every type of art matters. Now, if you're trying to represent a sound, you're trying to write with trader music for traders, music for games, I can tell you this is not good for that standard. This is what is wrong. But you will not hear me say this track sucks. And if you hear me giving critique, don't think that I'm saying the track sucks or I'm saying you suck. I would never say something like that. I read that a lot, sometimes even in my comments on my YouTube channel. I'm not that type of person. Oh, there's so many new Patreon tracks. God. Okay. That's pretty legit. Piano may be a bit too reverb, but pretty good. Oh man. Damn. That's a placement right there, man. That's a placement. Let's see how he concluded. But that, guys, listen to this. Did you expect this, like, from what we heard before? No. Kevin just went and took us all by surprise. And he did this so beautifully. You have like... like a boom, and then this that's amazing with the riser underneath and the percussion that kick in like subtly and everything is amping up. Beautiful. Okay, careful there with the compression. Okay, what I like here is that you did the feel. It would have been amazing if you did something like that, But maybe it's too early. Maybe you're gonna do that later. Like something where you isolated the percussion and then you brought back the orchestra. I wouldn't end it on this. Ba, ba, would have been, ba, ba. You know, that's different. When you have that cadence that wants to resolve to something, but then you don't resolve, that's a much more strong way to end a to do this. Like you're leaving a cliffhanger. But here, ba, ba, you just closed, you resolved, you know? And now the next part is gonna have a less impact. So that's one thing in electronic music where if you play with cadences like that and you end stuff on a cadence that wants to resolve to something, but you don't resolve, that's the stuff. That's the thing that keeps people like, please give me more. That's where you get them like that. God bless those harmonies. I love the thing I love the most here is like that sort of like, is it a dulcimer? I don't know. Like that metallic thing in the background. That's the most beautiful thing. Oh, modulation. Okay, here I would have like ba ba bum 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 bum. Like they do a crazy feel with all the orchestra, or do a crazy feel with the percussion. Like remove the orchestra for a second and do a crazy feel with percussion for like I don't know 1 second, and then bring back the orchestra. You need something like that. You need some cut points like that. That would look very cool with a video. There's some people who are submitting more tracks. Like, wait, I don't listen. Like, there's one. Like, we do 1 track per person. We want to give a chance to everyone to be listened to. So wait, stop submitting stuff. We listened to your track already. Sorry. Jonathan and Ryan Wood. I think we listened to Ryan Wood before, but we haven't listened to Jonathan yet. So interesting atmosphere. Very dark here. I love that, like that effect with the strings there. Oh man. That is amazing. That is amazing. I want you guys to listen to this with me again. Write in the chat the reasons why you think this intro is freaking amazing. Let's go again. Why is this so amazing? Articulation sets a vibe and anticipation. Live cello. So here's my thing. I thoroughly believe that if you remove the solo cello from this, it's still gonna sound bananas. And if you remove the that thing on the piano that changes notes sometimes, that arpeggio that is very mysterious, if you remove this like texture with the strings, if you remove the beautiful chordal changes, if you remove the beautiful dynamics on the strings, remove all of that and you leave the solo cello, it's not gonna be great. So what is the great thing? Everything but the main melody is amazing. The cello is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but like it's everything. Like the context that Jonathan and Ryan are setting now with all these atmospheric things that will not steal the show. So that's what you want. You want a cake. You know, you want layers of awesomeness with music to get this sort of like epic sound, or to get a very big emotional response from your people who are listening to the track. And also the sub bass is so warm. Like here it gets super warm. That is great. And now you have this boom. Like I love also the fact that like for a minute we didn't have any percussion at all. you can do that if your track is full. Like, check out these frequencies, it's so full. So if you remove percussion, it's fine. If this track didn't, like, if this track was like some of the tracks we heard where it was like this, then it's not good. You know, you need the high end to give the sense of openness. Or if it was like this, no bueno. Or if it didn't have, you know, low end, no. But it has everything. It has high end, it has low end. It doesn't need percussion then. But when the percussion kick in, like, because it doesn't have percussion, it sounds so full because of the frequencies. It sounds atmospheric as hell. And when the percussion kicks in, you really feel it, you know? Like, oh God. Oh my God. And I love that now the arpeggio is way more clear. I think the first time you listen to this as a random listener, you're not even gonna notice the arpeggio in this first half because it's playing such subtly in the piano and you're like, you don't even hear it. It's there in the harmony, but you're just paying attention to the cello because you're a random listener, right? And maybe it's your first listen. And then once the arpeggio kicks in this part, you feel like you know it already. And it's because you already heard it, you know? That's one thing you might want to do in your music. Add subtle elements that give a hint of what's about to come, but add them in a way that people don't really notice them until, you know, they listen to the track many times. And then what you're doing is you're communicating those things to their subconscious. So when you get to the climax and use that melody again, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I know how this song goes. It sounds so familiar. And that's why I like it. This song gets me. And you're like, no, stupid. I just told you a minute ago and you weren't listening. So that's kind of like the thing you want to do with your music, I think. That's a good strategy. Another thing we do in order to keep to make the listener feel like, oh, I know this song, I know how it goes, is to keep the track in the same key for 4 minutes, or to revolve around the same chord progressions for 4 minutes. But I really believe that if you delve into modulations, like if you change key throughout the track or something like that, or maybe you have a chord progression where you change key every so and so bars, that will add a degree of mystery that will make the livelihood of your track even much more intense and much longer. So I would definitely consider for your tracks, Jonathan and Brian, to have sometimes parts where you add, key changes, stuff like that. That's the next step. But man, that was good. Remo and Niv. Niv is another, dude that has been following me for so much, and he's been my patron for I don't know how many months. So thanks for that, Niv. We're gonna listen to the track after. Remo, let's go. Battle in the Desert. Oh boy. Time by Hans Zimmer has 4 chords. Yes, that's an amazing. But here's the thing about Time. You listen to that and you're like, yeah, 4 chords. Then I'm gonna do that as well. And you also pop music. You listen to pop music, you're like, yeah, they're using 4 chords. The melody is simple. I'm gonna do that as well. Yeah. Try to write a pop song that sounds awesome. It's freaking impossible. Why? Because it's about what I told you now. Like, you listen to that, you listen to the intro of a song from Jonathan, you're like, oh, that cello sounds awesome. No, what's going on is like the texture, the detail behind that is awesome. In Time, what is happening is that basically every so-and-so bars, the main instrument changes. Like if it was the brass before, like if the French horn was the main instrument, then it becomes, I don't know, the trumpets and the French horns are going to do something different. And whatever, like every single time, in Time, Hans Zimmer adds a new detail every time you repeat that melody. Every time those chords get repeated, there's a new detail. There's maybe a pad, there's a guitar, there's stuff kicking in, and it's just what is surrounding the chords and the main melody in Time is what makes Time amazing. It's not the fact that he's using 4 chords. The fact that he's using 4 chords is a device that he's using as a way to make people understand the beauty of the piece without challenging their musical intellect too much. Because 4 chords, you can follow them very easily. But as he makes you latch onto that, he creates this incredible soundscape around everything, and he keeps on changing stuff, and you're like, oh God, what is going on? This sounds so beautiful. And then when you analyze it, you're like, yeah, 4 chords, I'm gonna do it as well. But you forget to do all the background stuff and all the embellishment and articulations, and then you start to think, well, how does Hans Zimmer does it? And you're like, oh, maybe I need to get this library. And no, that's not, like, you need to learn orchestration, instrumentation, and stuff. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. It's simple, but simple doesn't mean easy. I love this, like the rhythm here. Although I can feel maybe the frequencies are not gonna be great, probably, I don't know. Yeah, that gong is dirty, a little bit. Man, I love that. Yes, that's, wow. Remo, one thing you could have done that, could have made that even better is if you add a delay on that. I don't know if you have that. There's a bit of delay there. I would have made the delay a bit more prominent because this is desert, so you can really space out your instruments and make them feel atmospheric. That works very well. What I would have added is also like a vocal. Something like very Arabic. Wow. I'm not a fan of how the percussion and the rest of the instruments sound like they're in different rooms, you know? Use reverb as a way to fix that, but... Like this dulcimer sounds like it's far, like it's in another room, and the strings are centric, and the percussion is in another room. That's tough. You need to learn to use reverb to fix that. And my friend Joël Delier has a course on orchestral mixing that probably can teach you a few things or two. And also you can find a few videos on my channel, I think, about this stuff. There's the vocals. Which sound in another room again. And also, I don't like the fact that the percussion is a loop. It doesn't ever change. So it was cool for the first few minutes, and then after a while, I'm like, come on, give me something more, you know? And when you use a loop like this, that's troublesome because basically it inspires you to write music in a specific way, right? Okay, I have this rhythmic structure here. I can do this riff, I can do this sort of like melody type, I can follow this rhythm in the melody because the loop goes like this. And if you never change that, if you never change the foundation at the in your track, then you don't give yourself the freedom to have different rhythms in your melody and stuff like that. So it's a good idea to change stuff in tracks. Like, don't rely too much on one loop. Change stuff, everything. Don't rely too much on one melody, don't rely too much on one instrument, don't rely too much on one loop, don't rely too much on stuff. Change stuff. That gives an incredible amount of variation and beauty and unexpected twists and turns that make music the interesting thing that it is. So that's what I recommend. You can totally have tracks that have loops and that are amazing. That Mouse, for example, Phantoms Can't Hang is a great example of a track that's like basically a loop. But it's interesting because Phantoms Can Hang keeps on changing. Like in Phantoms Can Hang by Deadmau5, what happens is that the track loops, but he changes the attributes of the sound design of the track. So you feel the same sounds and all the same chords and stuff, but he keeps on changing stuff, so it kind of evolves. With orchestral music, it's a bit more difficult to do that. So you need to play with variation in the arrangement itself. Niv, let's go with yours. Unnatural Forces. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's cool. Let's see where he goes with this. Interesting instrumentation. Would have added a bit more delay on these instruments. Probably. Yes, this was okay, guys. Why was this amazing? Again, let's check it out. Listen to this with me. I think this transition is one of the most interesting transitions we heard today. But I want to hear. So give me the reason why that was amazing. Okay. Why was that great? 7/8. Yeah, the 7/8 is already like, is it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yeah, it's 7/8. It's crisp build up, silence, changing of instruments, the riser. What else do we have? Like and it opens up, it does this stutter, and you're like, oh my god, what happens next? Like you're like, damn, hey, what's gonna happen? And then it's like nice. Man, that's so cool. What the hell, Niv? What the man? You see what he did? Like he stopped the percussion here, and you're like, what's gonna happen now? And then it does this beautiful choir. We've never heard a choir so far in the track. You're like, damn, what's going on? And there's also like, there's like a bass drop, and then the brass that keeps on it. So we have what? Percussion stops, the string to pa 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 pa. Then you have the choir. Then you have the bass drop underneath, which is like secret. You have a riser. You have this stutter, and then you have the. This all happens in the span of like 2 seconds. 2 seconds, and this, like honestly, this can be a reason why a track gets a placement. Okay, maybe like the climax is nice and stuff, but bro, have you heard that transition? Like people are gonna go like, what the hell? You know, like. This is the stuff you want. And in my tracks, when I write music, personally, I do this. Like, there's many of my songs, I'm like, this sucks for 80% of the track. I don't like it. But man, that transition I wrote there, that bass fill there is fucking legendary. I need to publish the song because people need to hear that bass line. That's the way I see my music. And man, this is the stuff that makes me go, yes, I will listen to the track again just to feel that transition. And then if the rest of the track is okay, it's fine. But that 2 seconds when Niv really put the effort to create something freaking insane, yes, that's the thing that makes me go, yes. What I don't like is probably the mixing a little bit in this first part, but let's see how it proceeds. So this brass sounds a bit like, I don't know if it's like playing a bit earlier or a bit later. The problem with the mixing is that there's too much high end on the mix. So it's a bit sharp and on everything. So here's the thing, yeah, loud, the shakers and hats, they're super loud because the hi-hats have been boosted on every instrument for the most part, I think. And the hats and shakers are super high by default. You really hear those and not good. What that didn't need to do that. No, he didn't, but it's so cool. So cool, man. Wow. Hey, you've really grown. Love this part. Jaeger vocals. In the house. Yeah, quantization feels a bit off. Definitely. Dude. You're freaking crazy, man. You're freaking crazy, man. This is crazy. Who expected that? Surely I did not. Now, I would probably equalize this a bit differently because, the idea of a solo there is genius. And also, you have this part where the choir really kicks on. So here we hear the choir taking over for the first time, and that's already amazing. The fact you have a solo on top of that is just insane. It's just, wow, that's over-delivering. I love it. I would probably equalize the guitar a bit differently, but I'm not an expert of guitar. And I liked the first part. The second part didn't convince me so much. And I would probably recommend you, maybe if you're struggling with this, I don't know if you are, I would probably write the second part. But if you're struggling with this, hit up like a guitarist friend and tell him, hey, I wrote this solo. Can you improve it a little bit and record it yourself? Because man, this solo, if you make it like a 10 solo, this track, which is already optimal, is just gonna, So what I would do here is do the ba 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 with choir, not with brass. Because now I can feel it. Like, okay, he's using the brass so much, and in the second half he's gonna go crazy, and now the brass is kind of crazy. But if you did that with choir here, and then here you maybe did that, something, a modulation, if you did something different, you wouldn't have to go so high with the brass. Use choir and strings and stuff. But man, wow, what the hell? You guys are talented. You guys are freaking talented. I mean, when I say talented, I don't mean like, you're born with talent. No, I mean like you guys have worked your ass off and you are really like writing some incredible stuff. I think there's no more Patreon tracks for now, so we can go back to the tracks from people who, submitted this normally. So, the guy who made the song reminds me of Nier FF13. Wow. Yeah. Let's go with... Wait, I need to order this again. I think the order has been like destroyed. No, it's right. It's correct. I was on a roll with going fast with tracks before, but now the few tracks I've listened to right now, there was so much to say. Sorry. I think it was Ashif. It's Ashif's turn. Let's go. Damn. I think some of the advice I gave before in other tracks applies to this one. Sounds to me, Ashif, like you recreated this. Like it says recreation, sounds like it's an anime song, and there's quite a lot of notes in here. Did you recreate that by ear? If so, man, like kudos to you for writing all those notes down. The mixing could have been improved, can be improved. Maybe the libraries can be improved also. That can help you. But it doesn't sound balanced to me in terms of like the sound, the frequencies and stuff like that. And, that stuff sound in the same room. Yes, no. But the fact that you were able to rewrite all those notes, some were very complex. If you do that by ear, it's cool. If you took the MIDI and copy pasted it, okay, it's less cool. But maybe you did the better. But this being a recreation, I cannot judge like the composition. But it sounds like there's so many mids. Like, be aware of the fact that bass trombones exist. Be aware of the fact that bassoons and low woodwinds and double basses are very important. And it's not only a question of violins and French horns. And that seems like one thing that beginners forget or they don't know. So be aware of that. And keep on rewriting music and try to get it as close sounding as possible. How is it not in order? I'm sorting it by date modified. It's telling me you guys submitted this at this time. This is in order. I've been listening to tracks from Patreon people who have priority. That's the thing. But it is in order. I assure you. If you guys are not happy, you can see here. It's written. More reverb on that cello, and also don't leave it like that. It's lonely. Okay, there's too little happening. You have this thing where you only use one instrument at a time. Don't do that. You have this thing where you're neglecting the idea of having atmospheric or background elements that are there for the simple goal of filling the emptiness that surrounds your main instrument. That is a very important thing to do. When you don't do that, it doesn't sound convincing. Cool bass. Cool friggin' bass. This pad, like, bah, if you could reduce the dynamics a little bit, that would have been amazing. Like, it's good to have a pad. Make it travel in terms of like, you know, maybe EQ it a little bit. Maybe like move the EQ, do a low pass filter that moves, or EQ like automate the volume. Do whatever. Just don't make it be like that. Don't make it be like that. This is not English anymore. Like linear like that, it's not always a good idea. But I love like the build up. I just think it would be much better if it wasn't that stable, like da, like so I feel like that would have been much better. Same problem. This sharpness. No, don't. It's not pleasant. Like, if you're trying to write something that is not pleasant to listen to and it's like sharp and you're like, I need to, like, after 5 seconds, please stop and reduce the volume, then okay. But if you want to write something that people will listen and enjoy, don't do brick wall stuff. And I think this part is going to be even worse, probably. Like, I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the open sound, to make it sound epic, to make it sound as open as possible. That's okay. But don't, like, what creates a sense of loudness in music is not having loudness at all times. It's not screaming at all times. It's not having everything push at the maximum at all times. Imagine a sexual intercourse where you just go at the maximum the whole time. Well, you're gonna explode. You're just not good for you. And eventually you're gonna numb. Our body's numb. When there's just too much, no contrast at all, you numb. You don't feel anything. If you get slapped in the face 1,000 times, you don't feel that anymore. But if someone slaps you ever so and so in the face, they give you the time to experience what it feels like to not be slapped in the face, to have, that calm, and then it's slap, and you're like, oh God, I felt that. But if they slap you like endlessly, you don't feel that. Music is the same. If you just give us like incredible loudness throughout the whole track without ever giving us moments where the volume is smaller and sometimes it's louder, without giving us like hit, bam, and then small, and then pam, something like that, okay? You don't give that. If you give us like brick wall loudness, our ears, they close. That's the response. The ears close. And it's just not, it's bad sex. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. It's not, don't do that. I see what you're trying to do. It's much more powerful to have the contrast. Give us a moment of quiet and then hit us with the loudness. And then moment of quiet and then hit us with the brightness and stuff. Okay. There's a new track, Shaheen, Rising and Falling. Sometimes I will not say some things because I will be repeating some feedback I gave to people before. So if that happens, I will not talk about stuff. But I hope you guys aren't watching this with your children, because I hope I'm not the one who is teaching sexual education to like minors. I expect that everyone here is like adult, so that's why I say that. Stuff like that, but Peggy 18, yes. I'm not, I'm 15. Well, at 15 and 16, you watch porn, so whatever. Shaheen, I think your potential is probably percussion. I think your potential is probably percussive. Lots of problems in the track that I've referenced in the previous tracks. Sorry, I'm not going to repeat myself, but yeah. Let's do another one. But What could I say? I don't know. Like, please watch this whole feedback live stream because there's so much advice. I felt isn't what. Oh, okay. There's so much advice that I gave in the previous tracks that applied to that one I just listened to. So I'm not gonna repeat that again. Sorry. Let's go. Huh. Sand Surfer. Wait, no. Is that the track we need to listen to? Yeah. Sorry. Huh. Man, that's so cool. See, like, these arpeggios and stuff. Man. Yes. That's giving me so many Egyptian vibes. And those pads in the background. What the like, so nice. So you have these pads in the background that you almost don't even hear them, but they're there. And also the delay and reverb on this, like, plugs and stuff, is adding to the atmosphere. So this is very packed, even though it's very simple, you know? And I love the atmosphere given by the choice of instruments. Man, that's the stuff. Yes, I love the strings. Beautiful. Okay, please don't repeat this like this again. It did. Okay, here I would have added a melody or something, you know, a solo or whatever, like in some like Arabian instrument or whatever. Just add me, like, it's cool that you repeated this, but here I would have added something. But let's see how this continues. Wait, did I guess the melody like ba 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 as a ba 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 ba, but here is ba ba ba. It changes. I almost guessed the melody. Ow! Bro, I love this. So you have that first melodic phrase, and then it breaks, and you have this beautiful. What the? Wait a second. Check it out. Now. What the man? That's beautiful, Michael. Michael, you beautiful man. Check out what's going on. So, notice the percussion. Like, as the phrase ends, you have this reverse symbol, like, shh, and then as the symbol stops, it's like the symbol is telling you, hey, check out this shit right here, like, right here. And there's another symbol, like, you know, so like, the percussion is like, check out this shit right here, and let's go back to that melody you heard before. It's beautiful, man. And also this, so it's not only he wrote this beautiful feel with that, you know, sort of like Arabian guitar instrument of whose name I don't know, but he also gave us pointers to listen to what's coming. This is what I'm talking about. This is stuff I'm talking about, guys. That's very good. And that counter melody there. Ba, 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 ba. If you wanted to make this even better, I would have added in the second half another instrument. Maybe some brass or whatever. An instrument we haven't heard. But I mean, this track is long, so you can do that. Man, I love this one. What you need, so this part sounds like it's a foundation for a beautiful solo. Get, I don't know, some ethnic instrumentalist from Fiverr and be like, hey, record a solo for my song. Because like this parts and the part before, they're cool, but they're like, I expect something to happen, and then it doesn't happen. So if you add a solo in there, like a solo vocalist, a solo whatever Arabian instrument, that would be amazing, you know? That would be great. Man, what the hell? What the hell? Bro. Jesus. Okay, here I would have done, instead of ending like that, wait. Like you're ending on a cadence. What if you did something like that that ends on a super high cadence, and then in the second half you would have taken that melody and transitioned it to like a brass ensemble. Something like that. So in this second half, do something different. And you end this solo with a cadence that is high and connects to the new instrument, taking that melody to a different place. On it, like that would have been the best thing ever, you know? So I feel like you're missing out in using the same instrument throughout the track, which again doesn't mean the track sucks. The track blew me away. But if you did those things, then it would have been even like, bro, we've been like freaking crazy, you know. I would have been, you know, taken to another planet. There's a track from Jacob from Patreon. And guys, I think I'm gonna do the last few ones. I'm getting tired and I haven't eaten, and it's 11 p.m. and I haven't had dinner because I did the stream before this one. Crazy. But will I upload this on YouTube? I think so. It's been a good one. There's been quite a good lessons in this one. I may upload it on YouTube, yeah. No worries, Blue Oceans. I will listen to a few tracks here. It's not over. Like we will go for like 10 more minutes or something. Yeah. It sounds pretty cool. You have everything. You have the risers. You have the low like bass drops. You have the stutters before the climax. The only drawback is the thing I was talking about before. No contrast, you know, equals bad sex. It's so weird to say that, but I think it's the best analogy. I'm sorry, but go back to watch the previous tracks and the one where I talk about contrast, because here you it's loud all the time. What can help is if you added some cut points. Cut points are parts where you just do something so different. Like maybe you remove the orchestra for a second and then you do a percussion feel. Something like that. Or whatever. You know, adding these parts that cannot break the endless loop that is like this build-up, you know? That would be great. That's what I would do. But the track sounds legit. Now you just need to make it sound a bit more interesting in terms of contrast. Make it surprise us and make it give us a few moments of like breath and breathing to enjoy the loudness again. Let the slap come and let us have a break after the slap so we can enjoy it. I mean, not enjoy, but so we can feel the slap that comes after. If you slap us infinitely, we're not going to feel anything. We're just going to feel dizzy. I think I could never teach in a proper school because I do these weird analogies. It'll probably get me like fired. Mine, I would accompany those choir with... First, I would increase the choir volume a bit. And I would accompany it with some strings. Do you know the track Cleric Beast from Bloodborne? The one with the choir. That choir there. If you listen to it, it's choir layered with strings. And if you remove the strings, it doesn't sound as crazy. So you need that. It sounds like the composition is okay. It's not layered. So you need, like, an example of adding the strings to the choir is an example of a layer. You could add some double basses. Like there's so many things you can add to make it more layered. And yeah, like just layer it. I don't know if I made tutorials about layering yet. Sadly, but if you download my stems from Patreon or whatever, you're gonna hear how I layer stuff, and you're gonna notice why it makes sense. There's a tutorial I made about layering, but it's about layering percussion. But it's the same logic. So if you learn from that tutorial, you can layer orchestral music as well in a way that makes sense, probably. But maybe I should make a tutorial about that eventually. Probably. Ah, this one is cute. Okay, Asgon, your problem here is that I don't feel there's anything going on in the background. Everything is in the forefront. Give me something in the background. If you want examples of a good background for such a track, listen to Hollow Knight's soundtrack. Very great. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I like my organs. Oh. That is interesting. You cannot meet them, yeah. Richard, this is a very interesting composition, or very interesting style, actually, I would say. Have you listened to Daughter of the Black God from Octopath Traveler? If you haven't, listen to that one. I find the problem in your track, Richard, is that the software you're using doesn't sound very realistic. And that people call me a snob when I say that. Oh yeah, you only make music with a paid library. Yeah, you need the money for that. Like, there's such a thing as like sampled libraries of people who recorded real orchestras and spent hours recording a note hundreds of times on different instruments just to make it sound realistic and at different levels and stuff. Like, sample libraries, they sound realistic because they spend thousands of hours into making them sound like that. Some libraries instead are not as deeply sampled, thus they cannot sound realistic at the same extent, you know? So that's why I say, just sometimes it's good to invest in sample libraries because it's like the difference between using a wooden sword and a sword made of silver that is being forged by a good swordsmith. Now, can you be a great samurai with a wooden sword? Yes, you can. Good luck if you meet a great samurai with a silver sword. You're fucked, you know? And also, you're gonna take way more time to chop whatever you want to chop. You want to chop a tree with a wooden axe? Can you? Probably. It's going to be hell, though. If you have an axe that is sharp and it's made to cut the tree, it's going to be much easier. It's going to be a much better done job. Music is the same. I would recommend you to get proper libraries. Some of them are just outdated. Also, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I love that arpeggio. Like when you're writing a meme song, you're like, I'm just gonna release this. I'm just gonna write this, like whatever. It's Old Town Road. People are gonna like it. But here's like a bad musician's like, no, let me add this like harp because I want to add like passion in this. I love this. That's the detail that makes me go like, yeah. Man, this is beautiful. Love the tubular bells. Give me a sense of Western vibes. Maybe using like a ethnic or guitar instrument instead of the harp would have been better. Man, those beautiful counter melodies, man. Wow. Here, maybe they sound a bit weird in this part, but I like the attempt or the intent. Now again, problem for sample libraries, everything sounds kind of at the same level, and I cannot discern the main melody that much, you know. But it sounds like with same thing as the same song from before that I told. Was it Richard? I don't remember. Yeah, same for Richard and A Bad Musician. You guys, like, these tracks sound like you put a lot of passion in them. There's detail in them. It's just you're using a wooden sword that is not allowing you to chop stuff as you should. If I'm explaining myself. But those are great, you know. And A Bad Musician, I hope you published that Old Town Road when the track was hot, because even at that quality, it could have blown up just because it was just beautiful. Hey Alex, I see some instruments behind you. Do you play them or are they decoration? No, I'm trying to learn them. Like, there's a bass guitar. Saying that they play guitar is almost like outrageous. But sometimes I use it in my songs, and sometimes I record guitar. Sometimes I play metal on guitar, and also bass. Like, if you go on my Instagram stories today, you're gonna see me play a bit of bass. The violin over there, my best friend bought it to me, bought it for me as a gift. Oh, you can see it now. It's that thing, violin there. My friend bought it to me as an encouragement to be like, hey, yeah, big musician, composer, yeah, just maybe you should learn your fucking instruments you use, you know, in your songs. Here's a practice violin. No, he's kind. He didn't say that, but I say it like as a, you know, I should practice that. Impossible. And the drums have been sent to me by mistake, and now I have them, and I'm gonna learn them. And A Bad Musician, I see you in every single one of my videos, so thank you for commenting and always being there. Okay, let's do the last few tracks. I'm having a roll. Like, how do you guys like this live stream? Again, like, it's different from usual. If you've been to the other live streams I made, you know that previously in the others one, I was diving deeper on every track and giving more advice. But I find that by going through tracks more quickly, I can give diverse advice that can still help everyone. So would you like me to keep this up? Like, when on the next ones, you want me to go do it fast like this? Or do you want me to go slow? What do you prefer? Let me know. And if your track doesn't get reviewed in the stream, I will not, like, you're gonna have to resubmit it next time, because again, it's a first come first serve. And if you want to make absolutely sure that I listen to your track, consider giving back to the guy who's been putting thousands of hours into creating free education for you by leaving $1 pledge on Patreon. I think that will give you access to the priority queue, and for $1, you can get me to listen to track absolutely without ever missing it. But I think I haven't gone in wrong order, because again, this is the queue. They are sorted by date modified. So just like you sent them to me. So if you want to make sure I listen to you, just freaking pledge. Just buy me a beer and then you will get that. It's not hard, you know? Oh boy. Wow. I love this technique. Like, this idea of starting a song or having a part of a song where you play a melody on a high octave and then repeating it but on a lower octave makes it sound a bit more mature. It's as if when it's high octave, like, ba, 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 it's like a kid singing, and then when it goes down, it's like it's matured in something more adult, you know? That's how I see it. And it's interesting because, like, different octaves like that can really change a bit of, like, your perception of the melody. Even in the instrument is the same, you know? Very beautiful. I love how much the percussion moves us around the track. And this, man, like, that tremolo right there, such a beautiful way to hold the tension and, like, make this transition even more intense. But, like, it's not loud, you see? Like, he is playing with contrast. He's giving us a beautiful experience. Thank you, Kevin. Wow. Beautiful dynamics. Like, it's not only about writing cool melodies or writing cool progression, it's also about making them sound alive. Dynamic changes. Nice. I think we can close with this track. This is a great one to close with. This will be the last one on the stream. That choir that kicks in just like that. Just like that. You know? Guys, what? Go back. Let's go back. What is cool about this transition? What is cool about this transition? I cannot get beer from $1. I was wrong. Buy me a coffee. What is cool about that transition? Let's listen to it again. This is Kevin Mueller. What is cool about this? The cool thing is that it starts with the strings and then with the oboe or something, which is doubling the strings, very beautiful. It gets higher, and here you get the choir that just comes out of nowhere, joins the crowd, and it makes sense because, you know, like until now you have the oboe and the strings, and then the next color orchestrally that will make sense in terms of frequencies and stuff is the choir at that octave. It's like beautiful, and it follows the main melody, so it's not very intrusive. And then you have the trumpets that everything was playing like sustained elements until now, and the trumpets are doing like marcato, staccato, and here they keep on rising, and as they rise, it sounds as if the track is like slowing down. So much tension before we even get to the next part. And now let's check out how this next part sounds. But you see, like, this is just 10 seconds, but there's so much detail here, you know? It's amazing. What I would have done instead of like pam 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 pam, it was a pam 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 pam, or something like that, something even more dramatic. Hey, or something like that, you know? It would have been great. Irish. Oh, I just realized that I've been putting my face up in here on the top left of the screen, so you guys could not see the names of the composers. I'm sorry. If I do a video recap of this on YouTube, I will put the names somewhere where it's visible. But this gave me some How to Train a Dragon vibes, but also someone wrote in chat very, very correctly, Final Fantasy XII or Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Kevin, if you haven't listened to the soundtrack for Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, please do. It's going to inspire you even more to write stuff that is freaking legendary. Zero Pledge, can you see my track? Kevin's track was going to be the last one. Let's see if your track is here. If it is, I'm going to give it a very quick review, but that's all. Don't submit anything, guys. Like, I'm done. I need to eat. Can I see your track? It's not there. Zero. I cannot really see it. But next time, again, I'm not sure when next time will be, because these streams are not prepared. They're random. When I feel like it, I stream. And I will tell you guys always, like I will make a post on YouTube, I will post it on my Facebook page and Discord and stuff. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun. You guys really have grown. Some of you maybe joined the channel and this community just lately, but there's some names that I keep on see popping up and stuff like that. And those of you like that have really grown a lot. And also the level of music that I'm hearing has improved throughout the streams. You know, this one was very interesting. Maybe it's also, I gave myself the freedom to listen to more tracks, and now I really listened and noticed how much you guys rule. So again, don't see the advice I gave as, oh, the track is bad. No. All those tracks had something interesting. All of them. There's no exception. All of them had something very interesting going on. I was just telling you guys what I think needs to be improved, but you should totally feel proud about yourself for the amount of music you've written, for the fact, even if you just wrote the first song, you know how much effort that takes? You know how many people there are out there who are currently, writing, like they're like, have been studying on tutorials for like 2 years and they've been hoarding on all sample libraries, but haven't even composed their first full song. You know how many people like that there are out there, guys? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy out there. You guys are doing it. You're fighting the good fight. I don't care how the music sounds. I don't care if the mix is not good, whatever. You are doing it. Keep that up. You should feel proud about yourself for that. Keep it up. Keep doing it. You will get better in time. Even every track you complete makes you better. My first tracks didn't sound great, compared to what I write now. And in 2 years, the track I wrote today are going to sound like shit, probably. The more you do it, the better you become. So I recommend you guys to keep it up. Feel proud about yourself. Pat yourself in the back. Even if the people in your lives maybe don't do that yet, do that yourself. Join my Discord community. There you will find lots of composers that can give you a sense of like inspiration and courage, and you can help them too. Because I think we grow faster when we grow together. That's the point of my channel, really. But that is all. And for those of you who follow me here, if you may be confused in the future, here on Twitch, I chose to do everything. Before I used to have different Twitch channels, but now I'm gonna have only one. So sometimes you're gonna see me stream this type like track feedbacks. Sometimes I stream video game music review, which is like people send me their favorite video game music through YouTube links and stuff. I listen to that and I react and I review it. So that's more for people who follow me on my secondary channel. And sometimes I'm playing games like PlayStation or Nintendo games and stuff like that. So this Twitch is going to be a bit wild. You're always going to see me. It's always going to be about me and whatever. But yeah, there's going to be a bit like different nature. I don't know if I'm going to do the thing where I compose from scratch again or live. Maybe I will record them and publish them on YouTube. But I don't know if I'm going to do that live. But that is all, guys. Have a great night. Thank you for being on the stream and for having the courage to submit your music. Again, keep this up. You guys freaking rock, and I'm proud of you. I'll see you in the next one.